Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know me, I of course am the FPL train, and in today's video we're going to be looking at 3 possible transfers we can make ahead of game week 8. That's not me saying make these 3 transfers, that's just me offering you 3 players you might not be thinking about, and I'm just putting these players forward to you. And they of course will be 1 defender, 1 midfielder and 1 striker. Now before we look at those 3 players, we're going to look back on the previous game week 7, and the 3 players I offered to you then. And they are, starting us off, we'll talk about Pedro Porro first. He got a nasty 1-pointer, a nasty 1-pointer. I thought he would do a lot better. I mean, it was looking great for Spurs. They were 2-0 up against Brighton, looking pretty comfortable. And then the second half happened, and they just, just disappeared. They were Spursy, that's the word for it. So in the end, he came away with just 1 measly point, which is pretty shocking to be fair. So if you did go for him, sorry about that. But, he's attacking, that's why I said go for him. But, I mean, I wasn't expecting them to concede 3 goals in all fairness. Now, the midfield change was Phil Foden. He only scored 2 points against Fulham. So you could argue that was a terrible decision as well. Shouldn't have got Phil Foden in. But I said this last week. If Phil Foden starts, but he doesn't obviously get a goal or assist or anything like that, it's a positive because he started. That is the most important thing we needed for Phil Foden. And he did that. He played 77 minutes against Fulham. No goals or assists. So he only got 2 points overall. But the fact that he started is progress because he's not been starting against Man City in the league. He finally did against Fulham. So hopefully against Wolves going forward, he continues to start for Man City, and that's when the goals and assists will come back to him. But yeah, only 2 points in the game week, so yes, it's a red one for me, but going forward, I do think he's going to be doing well. Fingers crossed anyway. And the final option was Cunha, wasn't it, of Wolves for the forward role, and it worked out a real treat. A bit like the previous week, the defender and the midfielder was terrible, but the striker was actually unreal. And again, it's happened again. I mean, what a game it was. 5-3 overall. Goals galore that game was. Cunha came with 1 goal, and he did get the 3 bonus points as well, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because obviously they lost. Brentford scored 5 past them, but yeah, he got 3 bonus points, which meant he came with 9 points overall, which is obviously, if you've got him, you'd be buzzing about that. I mean, he's got off to a pretty decent start this season. 6 games he started, and in half of those he scored a goal, so that's 3 goals this season for him. And his fixtures after game week 8, because I will point out he's got Man City this week, well, this weekend coming. But apart from that, he's got some good fixtures coming up. He's got, the likes of Brighton, Palace, Southampton, Fulham, Bournemouth, Everton, West Ham, Ipswich, Leicester City and Man United all to come. So he's got a great run of fixtures coming up. He's 6.5 million still. He's still an absolute bargain. Nobody's still looking at him, even though he's scoring goals against tough teams. So yeah, for me, I mean, I still think he's a great option. At least one of the players out of the 3 got a return. So yeah, thankful about that. But yeah, I do think Cunha's going to do well going forward. And I still think Phil Foden will as well. So then, let's look ahead to game week 8's transfers. And first up in here, I have got Rico Lewis and Manchester City. Now, honestly, this is 50-50. You can either go for Rico Lewis if you want to go for a cheap option, or you can go for Guardiola if you got money in the bank to do it. So I've gone for Rico Lewis because he's the cheaper option and more people out there will be able to afford him. But if you have the money, I definitely would recommend going for Guardiola. So the reason why I'm saying go for Man City defenders is just purely based on their fixtures. They've got Wolves, Southampton, Bournemouth, Brighton and Spurs as the next 5 fixtures. Man City, a dominant team, good defence. They do concede now and again, but yeah, I definitely would recommend going for either Lewis or Guardiola. Lewis obviously isn't playing as a defender currently right now. He's actually playing as a midfielder, so he is getting more attacking for Manchester City, which is definitely a positive thing to have. And he's only 4.7 million. He's just obviously got that assist against Fulham. He's had a pretty decent start to the season in all fairness too in terms of game time. So for me, he's definitely somebody to look at. Obviously, he is a rotational risk. That is the issue you have with him. But his next 5 fixtures, they look pretty decent to be fair. And if he starts in them, anything could happen. So in my midfield change then, this one you could say is quite controversial really, because Man United have been crap. Let's face it, crap. Attackingly, they have been awful. I think they got like 4 or 5 goals this season. They've been crap, right? So you're thinking, why the hell are you going to offer us Bruno Fernandes? He's got Brentford at home, who've got a good start. And he's got Chelsea in game week 10, who've a much better start than Man United. Well, yes, Man United are crap. I completely agree with that. They are embarrassing to watch. They're a hard watch. Yeah, it's just been awful. But surely this can't continue, right? This can't continue at all, surely. I mean, if it does against Brentford, I'm sure Ten Hag will get the sack and then maybe things will change. But yeah, surely this cannot continue. And the fact is, Man United's fixtures, they're okay now. They are okay. So yeah, I would say Brentford's a tough one. West Ham, I mean, they've been pretty poor to be fair. Yes, they got that victory against Ipswich, but apart from that, they've been crap themselves. Chelsea, I think, is going to be the difficult one. Yes, it may be at Old Trafford, but don't be surprised if Ten Hag is still in charge to get battered 5-1 there. But then they do have the likes of Leicester, Ipswich, and of course Everton to come. So in the short term, their fixtures, they're not too bad. They are not too bad at all. Now, if you don't want to splash out 8.2 million, because he has gone down 0.3 this season, and get Bruno Fernandes, maybe go for an even cheaper option in Marcus Rashford, which is mental. I know because he's only got 1 goal in the Premier League this season, and when he scores, for some reason, he gets dropped. Or maybe go for a Garnacho, possibly. Somebody like that, but I do think one of those attackers, don't go for a Xerxes. I'll tell you now, don't go for a Xerxes or a Højlund, because they don't get the ball. Xerxes, I think, is not good enough, and Højlund just doesn't get given the ball. So there's no point in going for them, in my opinion. So I think Bruno, just because he's on penalties, is why I've gone for him as well. And he does create a lot of chances. Just ball never goes in the back of the net, really. And I think maybe for now he won't get red carded for a while. Maybe we'll see about that. But yeah, we'll see about that. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes is the player I'm going to recommend. But this one could go horribly wrong, or it could go amazingly. You never know. And with the final transfer then, the forward change, I've gone for Eddie Nketiah. Now this, in my opinion, is the biggest season of Nketiah's career, because there's always been this talk of, is he good enough to be a Premier League player, to play for a top team? Obviously, he was in the background at Arsenal. That season he came on for a bit and he was scoring goals. We were all going, maybe he is good enough. We're going to see now at Crystal Palace if he is. So far, he's played 4 games for them and got no goals and no assists. So, not the best start. But as a whole, Crystal Palace haven't had a good start at all. They've not won a game yet this season. Drew 3, lost 4. It's been pretty diabolical, really. He's got to start scoring, though, because he can't keep going without scoring, because people are going to go, particularly at Crystal Palace, hang on, why are you not scoring goals? He's not actually looked too bad. He's just not got the ball in the back of the net. His fixtures coming up, they're not too bad either. You could argue Spurs at home is going to be difficult, but Spurs don't like to defend. Forest have got had a good start this season, but we'll see how that one goes. You could say it's a must-win for the manager, really, because how much longer are Crystal Palace board going to go, we're going to keep him? Because they can't keep losing games, drawing games. They have to win. They have to score. So that's another reason why you should go for Nketiah. And also his minutes as well is much better than Mateta's. Mateta seems to be getting rotated a lot, whereas Eddie Nketiah, he is getting minutes. He is getting 90 minutes as well, which is more important. He played obviously 90 against Liverpool, and he played 90 also, not against Everton. I was trying to think, was it Man United maybe? No, he only played 65 against United. It was Leicester City he played 90. So he does get minutes, more minutes than Mateta. And like I said, it's a big season for Nketiah. He has to score, and Crystal Palace, they have to win, because otherwise they're going to find themselves stuck in a relegation battle, and they're pretty sure they don't want that, because the last thing Palace needs to do is get relegated, because they've got some decent players there and they don't want to sell them on the cheap. So yeah, those are the 3 players then I'm going to be recommending in Game Week 8. Let me know what you think of those 3 players. Do you think they're any good? Do you think Nketiah is decent? Do you think I'm stupid to recommend Bruno Fernandes? Or do you like the likes of having Lewis or maybe Guardiola in your defence? So yeah, let me know what you think of those 3 players. Let me know what transfers you're thinking about doing ahead of Game Week 8. And please, as well, before you go, do not forget to like this video. Even if you didn't like it, just like it anyway, you know. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you all On the next one,